So I want to talk for a moment about a couple of the things that I don't really like about GarageBand. I would say that, even though there are many things I do like about it, there's definitely a few things that I find grating and kind of annoying. First one is the inability to set the output on the iPad and the iPhone. I don't know why they've set it up this way, but if you know what I'm talking about, like if you have your guitar hooked up with an audio interface, what you have to do is you have to have headphones that's connected to the audio interface at all times. You can't just use your guitar in the iPad as an amplifier for the guitar and then output through the iPad or the iPhone speakers. And I don't know why they've set it up like that. And as a matter of fact, I think this might be one of the defining downsides or the cons of using GarageBand. It's just this inability to set the input and the output on the iOS versions as well as you should. And you can do it just fine on the Mac OS version, but for whatever reason, they have it set up this way where you don't have those options on iOS. One way of getting around this on the iPad was something that I did, is that I bought a little auxiliary speaker, and then I connected to the audio interface headphone output, and that seemed to work, but I used something that was kind of cheap, so it didn't really work that great. And I find that because Bluetooth is becoming so popular now, it's actually getting harder and harder to find a portable speaker that can be connected just with the regular TRS cable or an auxiliary cable, whatever you want to call it. But what's interesting is that the Logic Pro for iPad, they have the ability to set it up that way if you want. You can set the input and the output to whatever you want in the iPad in Logic Pro for iPad. So you can use the guitar as an amp, and you can just jam. You can just jam and just listen through the speakers. You don't need to be connected to monitors or headphones or anything. And the second thing that's really annoying and totally pointless, it's the inability to open projects however you want when you first open the software. I don't know why do they do this? Why not just have it so that when you click on the software button, the icon, why not just have it so you can open up a new project immediately? Why does it force you to go back into your old projects? It literally forces you to go into your old projects. I don't get it. What's the purpose of this? One solution I have for this, if you want to know, is that I just have templates. So if I have a jamming template or a songwriting template, I just open those up instead, and because it's a previous project, right? But that's how I get around that issue. Yeah, I still haven't figured out why they've done that. And the thing is that I'm not a developer, and I know that from experience that usually there's some limitations and parameters that we're unaware of as consumers. Usually there's a reason why things are done the way they're done. So who knows? Maybe there's a reason why they had to do things like this, but I don't know of it. And the final thing that's really annoying about it is that you can't export MIDI. At one point in time, one of my biggest blog posts was how to export MIDI from GarageBand. And then I did that with, I have a video on it as well, and you use AIF to MIDI. That website has since been taken down, and now you have to use the audio converter, and it doesn't really work that well either. So the best way now I find is with Melodyne. Melodyne has the ability to export MIDI, and you just do that by hitting retransfer, and then you transfer it into Melodyne, and then you export it as MIDI. And it actually works pretty good. But this is an expensive workaround because most people aren't gonna buy Melodyne. For the price of Melodyne, you could just buy Logic Pro. You know what I mean? You could buy FL Studio, the producer edition, and there's really no reason, it's just an expensive workaround, and you can use the free trial as a way to not pay, but again, it's unnecessary. I think they'd be able to do that in an update sometime, figure out how to fix that problem. But with that all being said, this sounds like complaining, and I guess it kind of is, but ultimately I'm pretty grateful that we have this software. Super easy to use, and they give you a ton of free stuff, and they don't price gouge us on anything. They don't need your email. They don't really do anything. It's just this free awesome service, or this free DAW that they give to us to use. So I'm pretty stoked about that ultimately, at the end of the day. That being said, I think that one thing that I'll be doing is I'll actually be going into the App Store and reporting the problem. You can click a button that says report a problem. And that's something that I'm going to do. And I think that if enough people do that, and they say hey, why not fix these things about the software? I think that with a coming update, they could do so, because I don't think it would be terribly difficult to integrate these three things that I've mentioned. You probably have some that you'd like as well to be changed, and you can let me know in the comments. But ultimately, I think these problems are easily fixed. But by the way, I have a free mixing cheat sheet for you as well. You can go to producersociety.com/free-mixing-cheat sheet, and that'll take you to the page, and then you can get the free mixing cheat sheet. That'll put you on my newsletter, and I send you all kinds of free stuff and tips and what I'm up to, and things I'm working on, and just stuff that I don't really share on the channel and on my websites.